ועל דרך זה נספור במקום אחר בעניין המצוות, and similarly it's explained in another place concerning the mitzvot, שנאמר בהם, that it says about them, עשיתם אותם, that you should do them, אשר יעשה אותם האדם, that the Adam, the man, should make them, שהאדם עושה אותם למצוות, that it's the man that makes them into mitzvot, that it's not just that we're commanded to do them, but that we ourselves accomplish them and, so to speak, form them. Because the mitzvahs are composed of physical things from the klipas noga that you can elevate. Tzitzis min semer gashmi hulu, that tzitzis is made out of physical wool. Im kein zeshi a mitzvah bechinas klila or ein sof. So this, that the mitzvah becomes a vessel for the infinite light, zewal yedei ha'adam, it's through man that changes it and makes it into this vessel. Keniskar b'dibur hamaskil habayim yashresh. Like it's brought in the Mamer about sowing Yaakov and flowering Yisrael. Like the concept of Zorei Tzedakah. וזהו גם כן עניין גדול תלמוד שהוא שמה שמביא לידי מעשה. And this is also the concept of that study is great, which is shema, which brings you to the action, מעשה שמבara שם ban, that purifies the name ban, שהוא גוף מעשה המצוות chulu, which is the body of the physical acts of the mitzvahs themselves. So the Torah study is shema, and the mitzvahs are shem ban, and ma is mevarer ban. Therefore, according to that perspective, Talmud is gadol, more than Maisa. So it's mevili de Maisa, meaning to say that that's how you get to the forming the mitzvahs and the kelim. And it's mevarer the ban, va'az achar kach mitzvah magbiya as adam, and then afterwards the mitzvah elevates man, kinyan akise, similar to the throne, shachayus, the throne of honor, shachayus nosus akise minusos chulu, that the angels, they lift up the throne and they themselves then are lifted up by it. So similarly, the Talmud brings you to the mitzvos, and then the mitzvos lift you up as well. In that respect, the Maiseh is gadol. V'zeu inyan im Lavan Garti, and that's the concept of that I lived with Lavan. Uperush Rashi v'tayag mitzvos shamarti, and Rashi explains, then I kept the 613 mitzvos gematria Garti. Perush taryag mitzvos nimshachim michiv varta de golgalta chulu, that is to say, the 613 mitzvahs that are drawn from the whiteness of the skull and so forth. Zeu osios Garti, that's the letters of Garti, im Lavan ha'elyon, with the Lavan, the supernal whiteness of Lavan. K'tei levarer al yedei ha'mitzvos v'ha'uvdos b'chinas Lavan hatachton shebeklipas noga, in order to purify through the mitzvos and his actions the concept of the lower whiteness of klipas noga, shu Lavan haramai, which is the trickster, Lavan the trickster. Haga umash amako amar avdecha Yaakov. And what about this, that he says, so says your servant Yaakov, perush be megale amukos, Ufen kuf tzadik beis, dahinu kaf hey asfan, that is to say, the 25 letters, the Yehuda, the pasuk rishon, the kriya shema. That's the 25 letters of the first pasuk of Shema. Kinizkar bezor chelik beis vayischanan dafresh samach dal ramon beis, shebishma Yisrael yesh kaf hey asfan. That in Shema Yisrael there's 25 letters. Baruch Shem kaf dalet asfan, and in Baruch Shem there's 24 letters. Amasham kaf hey, and he says there ko amar avdecha, he says the word ko, Hainu Kaf Beis Asfan, that's the 22 letters of the Aleph Beis, Gimel Bechinos Tanakh, and 3 concepts of Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim. So Avdecha Yaakov said, he was Ko-Amar, he said the 25 through the 3 books of the Torah and the 22 letters. Viyshlach ki hine Shema Yisrael hu yichud Elah Baruch Shem hu yichud Hatorah. And we can explain what does this have to do that Yaakov said the first pasuk of Shema. It's because the first pasuk of Shema is the higher unity, and Baruch Shem is the lower unity. Ulechein Baruch Shem kafdalet osios al derech al yashuv dach nichlam. Therefore, the lower unity of the 24 letters of Baruch Shem is like the pasuk, do not send away the oppressed to be embarrassed, send them away with nothing. So shemikabelas misod hanekra dach, that the malchus receives from Yisod, which is called dach, the oppressed, like the poor and oppressed. K'moshe kosov tikun Zohar tikun kafalef daf and dalav v'nun hey, the dach is also the like the trampled. Aval Talmud. So it's also hinting to the concept of the Aver that's used for the Yichud, that's Nidach. Like by Abraham, by his Bris Milah, he didn't need doesn't use the full expression because it was Nidach, so to speak. Through Tashmish, about L'cha'ora. I'm not sure how else to explain the concept of Yisod being Dach. About Talmud Torah Mudad Emtsis Nikra Shiur, or maybe it's just in comparison to Tiferes that Yisod is Dach, and in comparison Tiferes is the rich man. But I mehem Parshas Tisa V'amru Razal in Ani ela bedas, and our sages said that the only poor person is with das, vein ashir ela bedas, and there's only a rich man with das. That it's the das that makes the difference between the rich and the poor. In your perspective, also, and that is like it says that he's a kale of 2 viewpoints. That is 2 perspectives, from above to below and from below to above. Vayisod mamshich midas tachton, and the yisod draws down from the lower perspective. Hamispashet b'midos, that spreads out into the emotions. Balkei nikra dach, and that's why it's called trampled or oppressed. Ki dasehu hadas b'bechinas ma'ayin liyesh, because this knowledge is in the concept of from nothing to something. And that's the lower unity, that you're in existence, yet you're nullified. But Tiferes draws from the higher perspective that above is the true existence, and in comparison everything is not below it. And that's when someone who's called rich in their perspective, in their knowledge. So, knowing only Yehuda Tata, so that you're poor in your knowledge. By knowing the higher perspective is rich. And that's the higher union of Shema, the Kala Ilah, Kala Sheri, and that's the higher Kala. From Shira Shirim, the Kala meaning not close on nefesh, but destruction of the self, the true bittul. Ulechein isa b'tikune Zohar tikun kaf ches dafayin gimel amad aleph shebina nikra ko, and that's why it's brought in Tikune Zohar, that Bina is called Ko. Because it's the higher Shechina, the higher Kala. Bittul Betachlis, true nullification, Kenyan train the rain, like the concept of the two friends, Ein V'yesh Chulu, the not and the something that are always constantly together. So before we said it was Das and Tiferes, and now we're saying that it's Bina. I guess you have the union of Chochmah Bina that happens through the Das Elyon. And that's the perspective as well. וגם פסוק שמע ישראל הוא קבלת בית הדברוס אנוכי ולא יהיה לך, and also the pasuk of Shema Yisrael is receiving the two. First of the Aseres HaDibros, that I am Hashem Elokecha, and you should not have any other in front of you, Hashem Mipi Gvur Shamanum, that we heard them from the mouth of strength. So that's Shema Yisrael. So again, a concept of the higher perspective of the Luchos, Kemoshikoz Berabos of Parshas Vayischanan. So you have the Metzias of Elokus and the negation of anything else. Anochi and Lo Yelecha. Perhaps that's like the higher perspective. The Das Elyon. Kemoshikoz Berabos of Parshas Vayischanan. V'zeu Kaf He Asfan, and that's the 25 letters. Vainu Kaf Beis Osios HaTorah, V'gimel Mochin Chabad, and that's the 22 letters of the Torah, and the 3 minds of Chochmah Bina Das Shem Tanachul, which are the Torah, Nevi'im, and Ksuvim. Gimel Kavin, the 3 sides, 22 letters in the 3 sides. I guess it's Hamshacha throughout the entire Hishtalshlus from the Makor. Or that everything is batal in comparison. The osios are disorder from Bina. V'hine amru razal olam mikabel adam alav ol malchus shamayim. Our sages said a person should always accept upon themselves the yoke of heaven. And only afterwards accept upon themselves the yoke of mitzvos. So again, we're coming back to the beginning of the parak of this parak Daled, in this Mamer that talked about the concept that we started talking about the concept of asisa musam, doing the mitzvos. Now the mitzvos are kelim to Ohr Hatorah. They take the klippos noga. And then you change the Lavan Tachten to the Lavan Elyon, like the Kisei, and how this is the concept of Garti, which is the Taryag Mitzvos. And the concept of Komar, and now we're explaining how to connect this to Ko Amar of the Chayak of the Kafhe. So we said that accepting the yoke of heaven is the concept of Shema, and the yoke of mitzvos is the concept of the Parsha V'haya Kachal Derech Amar Yaakov Ko Amar Chulu. So to Yaakov said, like this said, Ko. Yaakov said Ko. V'achakach Amar V'achakach Him Lavan Garti. Then he said that I lived with Lavan v'Taryag mitzvos shemarti, and I kept the mitzvos. So the Kaf He that Yaakov says first, that's the pasuk Shema. That's the Kabbalah Sol Malchus Shemaim. And then he says I lived with Lavan, I kept the mitzvos. That's the Kabbalah Sol mitzvos afterwards. Hainu mitchila kibel alav b'chinas ko asfan di yichuda. That first he accepted upon himself the concept of the 25 letters of the Yichud of Shema, in Kabbalah Sol Malchus Shemaim, which is the acceptance of the yoke of heaven. Valderach zed ne'amar Ko yihyezarecha, and similarly it says, like this, Ko will be your seed, but your children, that your children will represent and express the concept of Yichud Havaya, and the higher Yichud, v'nishtacha ve'ad Ko, and he bowed down until the concept of Ko, to the concept of the bittul of the higher Das Elyon. Moshe Kosov Berabos is Parsha Lech, Parsha Mem Gimel, V'zeu Amartem Ko Lechai, and that's why it says you should say Ko to Chai, the concept of the higher union to Chai. Hainu al derech be'er lachai ro'i, like the concept of the well to the life of the one who I saw in the vision. Hainu lebichinis yachid chei olamim. So what's lachai ro'i and ko lachai? What's lachai here? That's the yachid chei olamim. That's the concept of the union, the ko, which we said was the higher union to the chei olamim, to the life of the worlds. That it's Hashem's higher unity, which it gives, and the bittul of creation, that is the source for the concept of the life that comes to all the worlds. So too, you have to have the concept of that. You say ko asvan kafei asvan di yichud lechai olamim. You have to have the 25 letters of the yichud to the life of the worlds. And through this, you elevate and lift up the concept of Malchus that's called Ko. So Malchus is also called Ko, to the essence of the infinite light, to the Atzmus or Ein Sof, like we say in Ashrei, I will lift you up, Elokai, my Elokai the King. The concept of lifting up Malchus. That's the concept of the king who is singular, the life of the worlds. And that means the Malchus is lifted up to the concept of Yachid, the Yichud. And that's the higher yichud. And then we say, like, Yachid Chei Olamim Melech, I guess that's in the beginning of the davening. That's in Baruch She'amar. You start with the lower yichud, perhaps. And then in Yishtabach you say Melech Yachid Chei Olamim. So that's lifting up Malchus. Malchus lifted up into the Chei Olamim, or Malchus of Ein Sof. That's the Yichudei Law. And then you have the Taryag Mitzvos, Shamarti Laham Sheikh Lamayla Lamata, to draw down from above to below. After you elevated Malchus upwards, so now you draw it back down in Baruch Shem, or in Parshas V'Haya. K'moshikos Mizeh Torah Or. Parshas Vayishlach al pasuk ko amar chulu im b'darachai selech. Like it says, Hashem says, if you go in my way, what is to go in my way? I guess to be mamshich it down. V'efshalom mashi yizkir kein la'esav. So we can explain, why did Yaakov say this specifically to Esav? This whole concept that by saying this to Esav, it subjugated the strengths of the other side. Because the people in Yericho, they would say Shema directly right before V'ahavta, and they wouldn't say Baruch Shem Lefishim Bechinas, Baruch Shem Nimshech Bechinas Ragleha, because from the concept of Baruch Shem, the lower Yichud is drawn down the concept of that her legs. Yordos Chulu, that goes down the descent of Malchus into the lower concept of Yichud. Malach Elokim Malchulu, that the Elokim is the king over the nations. Elokim Al Goyim Keniska B'Dibaramas B'Chodesh Hashlishi. So that gives some kind of unique mitzias to the other side. And the Yehuda Tata Aval Bina Alma Decheru, but the concept of Bina, which we said is the higher Kala, the higher Yehud. It's the world of freedom. Malkein Amar Beis Pamim Ko. Therefore, we have 2 times Ko. That he said to Esav, Ko Somrun Chulu, Ko Amar Chulu. That he said, this is what you should say. Yaakov said like this, that you have 2 times Ko. I guess that's 50, which is the Shari Bina. But it's the concept of the Yichud, the higher Yichud. That is to say, that you have 2 times Kohen, meaning not just Bina, but also Malchus is on that level. That this fixing, the Tikkun, is going to, it will elevate Malchus also. To also be on the level of the supernal union of Bina. So too, on the shoulders of the ephod, you have 2 shoham stones that was engraved into them the names of the shvatim. Shisham al ha'even ha'chaschulu. 6 of their names were on 1 stone. Hayubuchal evan kafei osios. That each stone had 25 letters. 2 times ko again. Kimuvur b'gemara perek zayin desota daf lamed vav. Ubeharambam perek tes milchos klei hamikdash vayinsham b'kesef mishneh. So it says this is brought in Gemara Sota and in the Rambam about these Avnei Shoham and how the Shvatim's names were spelled on them. And through this subjugates the strengths of the Sitra Achra of Esav and Lavan, that he said, Im Lavan Garti, I still kept the mitzvahs, and he said these 2 codes to Esav in order to subjugate him as well. And he came with the Shvatim to Esav. The concept of that I lived with Lavan, Hagar asher bikir becha yale alecha malamayla the kaila shchina chulu. That it's explained on the pasuk that the sojourner, the ger that's amongst you, will be elevated upon you very high. That refers to the Shekhinah, that which dwells amongst you is the Shekhinah. And to be lifted up, the Shekhinah being lifted up. So that's the Ger Besher Kirbecha, that's the Garti. Is the Shekhinah. So in the Me'orior, it explains that Ger refers to Malchus. The convert is Malchus b'Yosag Gara be'olam ha'briya, since it, so to speak, dwells and goes down into the world of Briya, so it's a sojourner, not in its place. Vayishlach ha'yomer pasuk ger anochi ba'aretz al taster panecha mimeni. So we can also awaken to the verse that connected to this concept, the verse that I am a sojourner in the land, do not hide your countenance from me. Al taster mimeni mitzvosecha, don't hide your mitzvos from me. Tehillim Kuf Yutes. Vayna perush bechovos halavavos shar cheshbon hanefesh becheshbon hashloshim, and look what it says in chovos halavavos about taking stock of one's soul in the 30th cheshbon mitanai agirus bolamazeh, from the stipulations of dwelling in this world. Hepach besochami anochi yoshaves, it's the opposite of that I dwell amongst my nation. It's being a sojourner out of your place. Is the opposite of dwelling amongst your nation and in your place. It's maybe like a concept of galus. Or like the concept of look to the right and see that there's no one who recognizes me. I'm like, I guess, a sojourner. Tilim Kuf Mem Beis. Ubekada Kemach Berech Ger Kasav, and in Kada Kemach and Gary, and where he says Gary explains V'zelashono Kashim Shagolam Iroli Iracharasikra Ger, that just like someone who's exiled from his city to a different city is called Ger. So too we find Shat Tzadikim Nikraim Gerim, that the Tzadikim are called sojourners. They're out of their place. Because they don't consider this world as anything, and their dwelling here is only temporary. Like it's brought in the Gemara about to destroy your house and to return the guests. The guests should return. And that's also from the language of ger, from the language of a seed or a small stone. Like a seed or a small piece that's separated from its main stalk, or where it fell from. Kadosh, because the tzaddikim know that they were separated from their original source in holiness. And when the sojourner desires to return to his place, let its muladato, to the place where he was born, so to the tzaddikim desire to return to their source, and their root, and that's the throne of honor, that that's where the source of the intellectual soul is. So when you have the chayos lifting up the throne, it's compared to the nefesh bahamis lifting up the nefesh asichlis. That's why we find all the fathers, the avos, they're called gerim. By Avram it says, that he said, I am a sojourner and a dweller amongst you. Parshas told us, by Yitzchak it says, Hashem tells him, you should dwell in this land like a ger. And by Yaakov it says, the land of the dwelling, the sojourning of his father, like a ger. So too David HaMelech called himself a ger, ger anochi ba'aretz. He says, I am a sojourner in the land, meaning that their true place was on the Kisya Kavod, because they're their Merkava. Him shilas atzmu leger, that he compared himself to a sojourner, shu mezumel l'nesiya, that he is prepared for travel, v'inu yodea ha'es, and he doesn't know the time when he's going to go. L'fi she'inu yodea ha'es, and since you don't know the time you're going to go, you need to take food with you for the way. Maybe you'll have to go suddenly. And what is this? The food for the way. That's the fulfillment of the mitzvos. And that's why he says, at the end of that pasuk, don't hide your mitzvos from me, ad kan lashono, that being a ger is directly correlated with doing the mitzvos, because they're the tzedal derech. They're what you take on your travels. So that's the end of the quote from the Kada Kemach. Erech ger v'yesh lefarish lefi shekiyem tenai hagerus. And we can explain, because the fulfillment of the stipulation of Gerus, Lios Nichsaf of Gam Kalsa Nafsho, to have a desire and also your soul expiring, Lachzor Leikaro, to return to your source, Vishosho, and your root. Alkin Ba'avorze, Al Taster Mimeni Mitzvosecha. So because he fulfilled the concept of Gerus, in order that you feel, that David felt, the desire and that his soul should return back to it where it came from. He felt like a ger. Therefore he said, don't hide your mitzvahs from me, because I need them to go with me. I know like we say on Shabbos, that you should sanctify us with your mitzvahs. See that Hashem has given you the Shabbos. Lavan Garti, and that's why Yaakov said, I dwelled with Lavan. That he was only in a concept of sojourning and a temporary dwelling. That he did not consider this world to anything. And his soul desired to return to his father's house. What is his father's house? Yitzchak. That is to say, the time to come, when we'll say to Yitzchak, Hi ata avinu chulu, that you are Father Yitzchak. And specifically in the time to come, to have the concept of Havaya will be like the Elokim now. Lasi lavo. And through this itself is the fulfillment of the 613 mitzvahs, the revelation of the time to come, Shemam Shachos or Ein Sof Baruch Hu, which are drawing down of the infinite light, may be blessed. Similarly, is what it says, that he loves the ger, the convert or the sojourner, to give to them bread and garment. Pirusha ohev mishimikabel alav tanai hagerus polam hazeh. That what does it mean that Hashem loves the ger? That He loves someone who accepts upon themselves the stipulation of sojourning in this world, meaning to say, accepting the mitzvos in our temporary dwelling in this world. Al derech shamar Yaakovim Lavan Garti, like Yaakov says that I sojourned with Lavan, that the gerus is synonymous with fulfilling the 613 mitzvos. Garti gematria teryag lasis lulechem, to give him bread, Hi Hatorah, that refers to Torah. L'chulachmu belachmi, come and partake of my bread. V'simla hiya mitzvos, and the simla, the garment, is the mitzvos. Tolechem and simla is Torah mitzvos. Pnimim umakifim, the inner concept of bread, and the encompassing concept of garments, the inner lights and encompassing lights. Viyshlach od min pasuk ezeli oyali ki Garti meshech, we can awaken to the pasuk, woe is to me, because I dwelt with the meshech, in the place called Meshech. Or with the people called Meshech. Hainu Shiur de kol kach lamata chulu, that it descended so much that David said the Malchus descended down outside of Israel. Like it says by Gogu Mogu, Meshech v'Tuval. So it's a descent all the way down. Kigam be'in gerus hari amru razal, that even in the concept of sojourning, our sages said havi golel makom Torah chulu, that you have to be exiled to a place of Torah. That the whole point of the exile is that it should be to a place of Torah, to get lechem and simla there, to get that it's the Lavan Garti, specifically that the sojourning should be for the purpose of Torah. Yishlamar beperush im Lavan Garti. We can further say, what does it mean? I dwelt with Lavan, v'taryag mitzvos shemarti, and I kept the 613 mitzvos. Shual derech kishoshana bein hachochim davka, that it's like the concept of the rose amongst the thorns, specifically. To this you have the greatness of light over darkness. Or Parshas Noach, She'im Lavan Garti bebechinas ben hachochim, and through this that I dwelt with Lavan, like the rose amongst the thorns. He drew down the whiteness of the skull from the concept of the supernal whiteness. Lovana Elyon Chulu Shein Taryag mitzvos, which are the 613 mitzvos. That, like the rose amongst the thorns, brings out the smell, which is the petals of the rose, or a concept of Hamshachas HaKeser, which here is the Lavan, the Lovan HaElyon, the whiteness of the skull, the Makif of Keser, of the Taryag mitzvos. That by going down, you downwards, you're able to reach that level, and reach up there. And he calls them Amuvur Lamaila, and from everything that we explained above, Binyan Ko Amarchulu, with the concept of Ko, and the first pasuk of Shema, Yishlahari Le'inyan B'Kafei B'Kislev, we can awaken to the concept of the Ko, the 25th of Kislev, Yom Id Chanukah. You have the days of Chanukah from this concept of Ko, Tainu Chanukah, that is to dwell with the Ko, that Chanu is to establish a building or a dwelling with Ko Kafei Asvan, the Yichud of Shema, which are the 25 letters of the Yichud of Shema Israel, the Yichud of Shema Israel, the Isa B'Zohar Chelik Beis Bekudei, that it says in Zohar Bekudei, by Sidishun Havabe Shlama Malka, the Shlama delay, the first house, the first Beis Hamikdash had Shlomo HaMelech, that peace was unto him. By Sheni La Havabe Shlam Chulu, did not have the second house, the second Beis Hamikdash did not have this concept of peace. Ki by Sidishun Hava, because the first house, Hu Hei Ilah Bina, it's the first Hey of Hashem's name, the concept of Bina. Shenikra Melech Shah Shalom Shalo, that's called the king whose peace belongs to him. Yesod Abba Terein Rein Chulu, which is the foundation, the Yesod of the father of Chochmah, which is the concept of the two friends. V'hainu Yichudei Lo Dishma Yisrael, that is the supernal union of Shema. Like we said, the Das Elyon, Ein Ashir Ela B'das. Ubayis Sheni, which, like we said, is Tiferes Yaakov, not Yesod, which is the Das Tachton. Ubayis Sheni Malchus Shod Elamata Chulu, and the second house, the second Beis Hamikdash, is Malchus, that's descended downwards. Vein Shalom Yesod Za Meir Bachulu, and Shalom, which is Yesod, Ziran pain does not shine into it. Mipnei Sinas Chinam Shaya Beinehem, because of the hatred towards one another freely amongst Jews. Rahman Litzlan. V'az Nikra Dach Ve'ani, and then with that perspective, we're called impoverished and poor because of the Das Tachton. Validei Mesiras Nefesh Aylehem, and through the Mesiras Nefesh in Galos, and by Chanukah that we had Himshich Lios Chanukah, we drew down to have the dwelling of the Kaf Hey, of the higher Das, to have Malchus be elevated to the Yichud Eilah as well. Mebichinas Dach Naseko, that from Dach, which is 24, and trampled, becomes Ko, to have the 25 letters of the Yichud Eilah Shema, from the lower Yichud to the higher Yichud, Liyosroni V'simchi Baschulu, to have rejoice and be happy, the daughter of Zion, like in the Haftorah of Chanukah. That the higher Yichud should shine into the lower Yichud. Gamkin mibichinas Yichud Eilah. Kitzer Inyan Asher Yaseh Osa Adam. So we explain the concept of that the man is the one who makes the mitzvos. Gadol Talmud Shemevili De Maiseh. Great is Torah study that brings to the action. Ma'uban, the Maz Mivaraban, Lavan Garti had dwelt with Lavan, Ko Amar, Kafe Asvan Dishma Yisrael, and the other. So said Yaakov with Ko, the 25 letters of Shema, Ki Baruch Shem Dach, Ani, because Baruch Shem is the 24 letters, which is Dach, and trampled, impoverished, Mebichinas Das Tachton, corresponding with the lower perspective, the lower knowledge of Das, Val Ashir Das Elyon Zeu Ko, but the rich man, that's the higher perspective of Ko, Kabbalah Sanochi V'lo Yelacha, and receiving I am, and you should not have any others, the Luchos, well, so that's the concept of Ko as well, the higher Yichud V'amartim Ko, and you should say Ko, L'chai Yachid Chei Olamim, to the Malchus, the life of all worlds, to elevate it upwards, elevating Malchus from Yachid Chei Olamim Melech to Melech Yachid Chei Olamim, even though he doesn't actually mention that concept here. He hints to it, Zeu Kabbalah Sol Malchus Shemaim, and that is the acceptance of the yoke of heaven, V'achar kach v'taryag mitzvos shemarti, that's what's Ko Amar Avdecha, and then he said, and I am Lavan Garti, that I kept the 613 mitzvos, Kabbalah Sol mitzvos, Beis Pamim Ko, Chamishim Osios, Al Shnei Kisfos HaYefod, we said you have 2 times Ko, the 25 letters twice, on the 2 shoulders of the ephod, in Garti Tanaya Gedos. The concept of I dwelt the like he brought from the Karakemach, the stipulation for the sojourning is in order to have the mitzvos. Hager asher b'kirbecha, the sojourners amongst you, al-mazeh diras arai, and how this world is only temporary dwelling. Al yidei zeh al taster mimeni mitzvosech, and through this we ask, don't hide your mitzvos from me then, because I need to say that sedel aderech. Od perushim Lavan Garti al derech keshoshana bin achochim. Further, we explained I dwelt with Lavan, that is like a rose amongst the thorns. Venin Chanukah, and we explained how this connects to Chanukah, that the Malchus had descended, and we needed to be Chanukah, we needed to dwell the concept of Ko, and connect Malchus to it, that Malchus should be on the level of Ko as well. And Kanaga is the end of that Haga.